More on this now with Francisco Diego, who's a lecturer of physics and astronomy at the University College London. He joins us now from the British capital. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, critics who argue against space tourism aren't necessarily against space travel or exploration more generally. It's just this idea of space travel as recreation. How would you justify this current emergence of space tourism that we're seeing?
Yes, exactly. It's a different thing. But it is, I mean, the problem I see here, of course, we can promote space tourism. We can promote all this. It's actually brings some kind of benefit, if you like, the idea that normal citizens can go into space. But my main point is that it has to be regulated. We have a lot of activities going into space. We have to consider the overcrowding of the orbits around the Earth. We have to consider the way we are going to explore the Moon and Mars. And my point is that there are two different aspects here. Of course, one is the private companies and people like, as we see now in the screen. But the other part is the International Space Station, for example, that has produced so many benefits. It's a space laboratory in microgravity where a lot of experiments are being taken to explore the possibility of living in space in long periods of time, which is required to go to not only to the Moon, but mainly to Mars to have long periods of time in space conditions. So those are very important. Of course, we have the benefits in the Earth with a lot of products that have been developed and industrial and scientific systems that have been developed for the benefit here on Earth. But criticizing the spend in space, in space exploration, is a bit harsh because it's not that much money. Because if we consider the amount of money that is spent in military equipment, for example, the James W. Space Telescope, which is a fantastic machine, product of international collaboration as well, and the cost is probably $9 or $10 billion dollars. And then I say, well, that's the cost of 5 B-2 bombers. I mean, this is ridiculous that we are criticizing space exploration on one side, but we are not criticizing the military expenditure, which is by far much bigger. So we have to put things into perspective. Certainly, my main point is to have regulation, international regulation through the Open Space Treaty that was set up decades ago, and needs to be implemented, updated, of course, and implemented properly.
When you look at some of the prices that these private space companies are charging for a trip into space, Virgin Galactic, for example, is charging $250,000 for its trip into space. Others are looking at charging similar amounts. For the moment, though, space tourism is only going to be for the ultra-rich, isn't it? At what point will ordinary people be able to take advantage of it as well?
Yes, it is. I doubt it will be done in this way. Of course, this is going to be very expensive. Even with larger amounts of people going into space, it will be still very expensive. It has to be done through the space agencies. Space tourism, in a way, we have had people traveling into the International Space Station, and we will see the space agencies really facilitating this in the future. Mind you, this is not space travel. It's just going up in the atmosphere. I don't know, 90 kilometers or 100 kilometers and then down again. So it's not exactly space exploration, only to experience a few minutes of zero gravity. But it is, I would say, yes, it is criticizing because also it's sending the wrong message, if you like, because you need to have a lot of money in order to do this. And then people want to have a lot of money, which generates more inequality on the planet, etc. There is a lot of connections here, but certainly, yes, the expenditure of individuals that go into space like this is very much criticizable.
Okay, Francisco Diego from University College London, thank you again for joining us on the News Hour.